All right, guys, good morning. The lesson for today is on the interest formula. What you're going to need is your notebook, a writing utensil, and a basic calculator. So, you should have your notebook for period one. If you don't have your notebook, you can take out a sheet of paper and you can do your notes on a sheet of paper. A writing utensil, pen or pencil, doesn't matter, and a basic calculator. If you want to use your phone, that's fine since you're at home anyway, okay? So if you need to go get those things, go ahead and pause the video and go get those things. Okay, so in your notebook, go to your table of contents, which should be the first page. And for number 23, you're going to write down interest formula, number 23 in your notebook, okay? All right, so again, that should be down here. Number 23, interest formula. This is all stuff you should have already from the rest of the school year. Okay, flip to the next available page so you can write your notes there. Okay. Write the title of the page of the notes, which is interest formula. And let's go ahead and get started, okay? So, this is the formula. I equals PRT. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. I equals PRT. There's no symbol in between any of these letters. There's no plus sign, there's no minus sign, there's nothing. So remember, when there's no symbol, it's automatically multiplication. So you can put a little dot in there if you want to represent the multiplication. So this I, that's going to represent interest, okay, for the interest formula. You should be writing all of this down in your notebook. The P stands for principal, or principal amount. The R stands for rate, and the T stands for time. Okay, so interest is the amount you're going to pay over time for the amount that you're borrowing, which is the principal, okay? So the P is for principal. You should be writing this down. Principal is the starting amount. Starting amount. R is rate, which is going to be the percent. The percent being charged as a decimal. Percent being charged as a decimal. And then finally, T, or time, is going to be the length of time in years, okay? So if you're given the amount of time in anything other than years, you need to convert it into years first. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start erasing from the top to the bottom so that hopefully if you're still writing this, you still have time. Either way, you can always pause the video if you need more time. Okay, so here's going to be our first example, okay? Please write this down in your notebook. example 1. Okay, Dr. Belvins is a veterinarian. She will take out a loan for $94,000 over 7 years at 6.25% interest to remodel her office. How much will she pay in interest for this loan? Okay, so please write this example down in your notebook. Go ahead and write that example down. Pause the video if you need to. So let's go ahead and do like we usually do in class, and we're going to circle numbers. And we usually underline math terms, right? So she will take out a loan for $94,000 over 7 years at 6.25% interest. And what's the question? How much will she pay in interest for this loan, right? How much will she pay in interest for this loan? So you should have the interest formula written down, and this is the formula. When you do your homework, I want you to write the formula down each time. You can put the dots or you don't have to. Just know that it's multiplication. Okay, so here we go. So interest, the principal amount is this $94,000 right here. That's the starting amount. That's how much she's borrowing. I'm going to use parentheses to show multiplication, okay? 94,000 times the rate. So we need the R, which is the rate, which is 6.25%. If you remember in the notes, it said that the rate should be as a decimal, okay? So let me write this in blue. So if my R is 6.25%, remember when we were doing percents in the last unit before this, this is a percent. So in order to turn it into a decimal, you need to move the decimal 2 times to the left, okay? So we're going to go 1 and 2, and we're going to fill this part in with the 0, right? So it would be R equals 0, right? And the decimal goes here, so 0.0625. 0.0625 or 0.0625. So down here, my rate is 6.25%. So for R, I'm going to put 0.0625. And then time, well, it's 7 years, so I'm going to put 7. Okay, so write all that down. Now we're just going to go ahead and type that into the calculator. And we get 41,125. Okay. 41,125. At this time, I usually ask for questions, but this is a recorded video, so you can't ask questions. I'm going to go ahead and erase from the top to the bottom in case you're still writing this down. Again, you can always pause the video if you need more time to write. Okay, example 2. So for this example, we have $15,000. This is not a word problem, so just write the numbers down. $15,000 at 4% interest for 6 months. Okay? So again, let's go ahead and write down the formula. I want you to write down the formula each time you do a problem. So the interest is going to equal to the principal amount, $15,000. That's the starting amount. That's how much they're borrowing. $15,000 times the rate, which is 4%. But remember, we have to turn it into a decimal. So 4% as a decimal would be 0.04. So we're going to write that, 0.04. And 6 months, we have to convert that into years, remember? So the formula is time in years. So 6 months in years is half a year. So we're going to do 0.05 for the, not 0.05, 0.5 for the 6 months, okay? So here for the time, I'm going to put 0.5 because it has to be in years. Okay, then we are just going to go ahead and type all of that into the calculator. And when we type that in, we get $300. Okay? Okay, so this person, for borrowing $15,000 at 4%, for half a year, 6 months, they're paying $300 in interest to borrow that amount of money. Again, normally I'd ask for questions at this time, but you cannot ask a question since it's a video. So you should be going into Schoology in the materials section to do you should be going into Schoology at this point in the materials section to do your homework, homework/classwork since you're at home. And it is page 131. You can see in Schoology, page 131, 11 through 16. And there's directions in Schoology on how to do that. Make sure to take a picture of your work and go ahead and submit it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or let me know otherwise, and we can do a Zoom session or a phone call in order to clarify anything.